Take a moment to imagine your organisation thriving, even in the face of challenges, using an approach that also helps your employees to thrive too. My name is Annie Gascoigne, and I'm leading PhD research into just such an approach, known as organisational flexibility. The research is under the supervision of Professor Frank Bond and Dr. Joe Lloyd at the Institute of Management Studies at Goldsmiths, part of the University of London. This video is a short, business-friendly guide introducing the research and the concept of organisational flexibility. It explores how and why we believe this research is relevant and useful for you and your organisation, and what my research is aiming to achieve. The video also hopes to encourage your organisation to get involved in the research, so I will explain what that entails and how participation can benefit you. First, let's start with what the research is about. This research is exploring a theory. It proposes that organisational flexibility can help organisations to thrive, even in the face of challenges, and in doing so, also help its employees to thrive too. I use the term thrive here to describe experiencing a deep, rich, meaningful quality of life. When an organisation is thriving, it's achieving goals in line with what it aspires to. And even when times are tough, the approach enables the organisation to be more resilient. Let me explain further with what we see as a major hindrance to that ability to thrive: inflexibility. Inflexibility comes about when organisations become attached to an idea, perhaps out of habit or dogma, thoughtlessness or fear, or sticking to rules or social conventions, rather than choosing to behave in line with what the organisation aspires to. For example, an organisation can be adamant that how we do things here is the right way. And indeed, perhaps that way has worked for years. But if the organisation is not open to or aware of noticing alternative approaches, then it may be this previous success factor that leads to problems. One example of this may be in the case of disruptive innovation, where established organisations in a market don't notice, or they ignore or avoid, new approaches that are embraced by the disrupting organisations, resulting in the more rigid organisations being left behind. Another example may be found in the case of mergers and acquisitions, where employees may be rigidly attached to the culture, brand or approaches of their previous employing entity, rather than embracing the aspirational purpose of the new organisation and the opportunities that that might bring. A contrasting example of inflexibility is an organisation that might be very aware that constant change is the new norm, and they want to embrace change but become so rigidly attached to changing that it feels like change is enforced just for the sake of change. And that can result in frequent knee-jerk reactions or a multitude of disconnected projects, processes or plans. This type of fixation is understandable, especially in fast-moving industries like IT, or in organisations that restructure and get stuck in a loop of change for change's sake. Each of these examples illustrates a premise that may initially be helpful. Recognising the success of how we do things here and repeating it can make a lot of sense. Similarly, having an ability to adapt is essential for organisations to make progress. The problem is the inflexibility of being rigidly attached to an approach. This research aims to help organisations to be less inflexible and to be more flexible. Organisational flexibility describes organisations that are alert to their markets and internal environment, open to acknowledging and addressing their weaknesses and challenges as much as recognising their strengths and opportunities, and are willing and able to choose to respond or not to the situation with behaviours that are towards their overall aspirational purpose. All of these points are important within this theory, but I think a particularly useful piece to grasp is about choosing to respond or not, and making that choice in an intentional way taking actions that are towards goals that align with the organisation's purpose. So, to clarify, organisational flexibility is about organisations thriving by choosing actions that help them achieve their purpose-driven goals in spite of internal and external challenges that might arise. This research aims to help you and your organisation to be more flexible. This research is underpinned by a robust base of philosophy, science and theory. We've also shown through 20 years of research and practice, from the clinic to the workplace, that this perspective of flexibility works well at explaining, predicting and influencing individuals' ability to thrive. Examples of research-based interventions in the workplace include those which have improved employees' ability to cope with stress, through to those which have improved leaders' performance and well-being, with a knock-on effect of improving their team's performance and well-being. We believe that the same principles that work at the individual level work at the higher organisational level too. And this specific research is leading the way towards finding out. We also hypothesise that there's a relationship between individuals and organisations thriving based on this shared concept of flexibility. For example, imagine you, with your level of flexibility, starting a new job in an organisation that's very inflexible. Over time, our theory suggests that you are likely to become less flexible too, impacting your own effectiveness and well-being. On the flip side, if you were to join an organisation that's flexible, then over time it's likely to help you and your colleagues to be more flexible, more effective and more emotionally healthy. This research aims to confirm this hypothesis. To be more precise, there are two main aims to this study. Firstly, we need to be able to measure organisational flexibility. To do that, we've developed a short survey scale. It's already been through some statistical testing. We now need more data to further analyse and confirm that the scale is valid and reliable. Secondly, we want to use the scale to confirm whether organisational flexibility predicts organisations' ability to thrive, as the theory suggests. To do that, we need to survey organisations and their employees and apply statistical analysis to confirm that the relationships exist between these concepts and that they can be generalised across organisations. To do this research, we're inviting 50 organisations of all sizes, ages, industries and types to take part. In each large organisation that takes part, we'll ask for 100 employees to participate. In SMEs, the aim is to ask for all employees to participate. From each organisation, we need employees to complete 2 surveys. Each survey takes just 15 minutes, and the 2 surveys are taken 6 months apart. So it aims to be not too arduous for anyone involved. And so, what's in it for you? In return for your involvement, we want you to be the first to find out about how this approach really works. Your organisation will receive a written report on the flexibility of your organisation relative to the other participants, and an invitation for chosen representatives from your organisation to join a seminar to learn evidence-based insights and recommendations from the world of behavioural science and management at the Institute of Management Studies at Goldsmiths in London. For any non-London based organisations involved in this research, or those of you who are unable to attend in person, a webinar will be made available, as unfortunately we're unable to pay travel expenses. So what will the report and seminar enable you to take back into your organisations? We want you to take flexibility into your organisations by giving you advice on making decisions that move you towards your organisation's purpose-driven goals and to thriving. In our research, we work on the basis of theory and data-driven evidence, and you'll be the first to hear what we learn from your data, whatever we discover. Our initial studies have been very positive, already showing evidence of organisational flexibility's strong relationships with various factors, including employee job satisfaction, employees' intentions to stay in their organisations, the ability organisations have to support and empower their employees, their innovativeness and adaptability, and the perceived efficiency, quality and effort of organisations. We want to provide you with advice to improve on all of these and more. With this next study providing us with more depth, you'll be the first in line to receive this free preview, helping you to learn scientifically supported ways to create greater flexibility in your organisation, influencing its ability to thrive. So if you want your organisation to be first in line to become more flexible and thrive, please drop me a line at a.gascoigne@gold.ac.uk. I'd be very happy to answer any of your questions. I've also put together a user-friendly guide to the steps involved for participants in the research. You can find it on my blog, orgflex.blogspot.co.uk, or email me for a copy, and obviously I'll be very happy to talk you through it and answer your questions. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now and be well.